Hey everybody! Happy Monday! Let's get ready for school. Okay, so I hope you guys had I hope you guys had a fantastic weekend. Mine was really quiet. There wasn't much going on, which I guess was kind of nice, because I think this week, is going to be a little bit chaotic. There's, like, a good amount of stuff going on this week, and then weekend as well. So, I guess having, like, a quiet weekend, is always nice when you're about to have a chaotic week. We made it to midterms week, but it doesn't feel like it because I don't have any, like, actual midterms. So, I'm, like, not too worried about what's going on because, like, I don't actually have, like, real finals. I have, like, the most I think I have probably is something in maybe child psychology, but most of the time, like, if it's gonna be, like, anything like when we did, during child development, it was literally, like, we watched a movie and answered questions about the movie, so it probably won't be that bad. And I already know what I'm doing for, like, guitar and stuff, and choir, so it's gonna be, like, a really chill week, but I still have stuff, like, going on this week, so, yeah. And then also this weekend, like I said earlier. But tomorrow is our choir concert, and I'm really excited because we've been working really hard since the beginning of August, since we started school. And I think our songs sound really good, and we have a lot of really fun, really good songs that we're singing, and I'm just really excited to sing them. So I went to Ulta yesterday, and I got a restock of my mascara, because I wasn't, like, actually running out, but it was starting to get to that, like, really dry point, so I was just like, you know what, I'm just gonna get a new mascara. It's $5, so it's, like, it's not really like you're losing a lot of money if you replace it often, because it's the, Essence Lash Princess mascara. I love that one. I used to, like, kind of pair it with telescopic, but it kind of makes my lashes look weird, so I think I'm gonna have to, like, use telescopic, like, on its own. Or maybe I'm layering it wrong. Like, maybe I'm supposed to do telescopic first and then the other one, but I don't know. But, yeah, so I got a restock of my mascara, and then I also got the e.l.f., like, lip oil, because I really wanted to try it, and I tried it yesterday, and it was actually really nice. So I think I'm gonna take it with me to when my, I think I'm gonna save it for when, my lip oil, like, evaporates. That sounds weird, but, like, I don't know any other way to describe it, but, like, if you get the Rare Beauty lip oil, which is the lip product I put on my lips every day, it's tinted, so, like, even when the oil, like, leaves your lips, like, there's still, like, a tint to your lips, if that makes sense. And so then you can, like, top that with, like, lip balm or, like, a lip gloss or something. So I'm gonna bring the lip oil and see how it wears throughout the day, and then I can give you guys, like, a rundown or whatever, or, like, a little recap or whatever. So, like I said earlier, I didn't really do anything this weekend. I think the most I did was, like, watch a movie, but, like, I watched it at home, so it's like, does that even really count? This weekend was James Bond Day, because it was, like, the anniversary of, like, the first movie releasing. So I went and I watched, the movie GoldenEye, because I've been wanting to see it. Like, I've been wanting to see it, and it has not been, like, on streaming. And I guess, like, for the day, they were, like, putting all of the movies on, Prime. So, Saturday night, I ended up watching it, because my dad was, like, doing something else, and my mom was at home, so, I watched the movie by myself, and it was really fun. It was a good movie. I'm so used to, like, Daniel Craig as James Bond, and it's, like, a completely different, like, vibe, because like, I guess it's like my two different vibes, because I love a good little bit of humor, but then, like, I also love a good amount of drama as well, so I don't really know what to do with that information, but, you know, so, it was really good, though. I also just really like Pierce Brosnan. Like, my grandma and I watched this other movie that he was in, and it was so good. It was called The November Man, so if any of you have never heard of it and you like Pierce Brosnan, I highly recommend it. It's a really good movie. Yeah. But, yeah, so I went and I watched that, and, like, I really didn't do anything this weekend. Like, I watched that movie and I cleaned. That's pretty much all I did this weekend. And then I went to church yesterday, but, like, I do that every week, so it's, like, not that, surprising that I went to church. But we ran some errands after church, so, I don't know why I'm trying to make my life sound like it's more interesting than it actually is. So I think I'm gonna go and talk about what I told y'all I was gonna talk about over the weekend. Like today, I guess. And that was more podcasts and interviews. Because I think I was talking about, like, I forgot what I was talking about. I think the Not Skinny But Not Fat podcast was the main one I was talking about last week. So, the other one I was gonna tell you guys about, was the Luminosity podcast. Because if you've never seen that one, I highly recommend it. It was so good, both ones, because there's a part 1 and a part 2. The only thing I will say about part 1 is that it is a little bit on the darker side of a podcast. They do go into, like, some darker content matter. And so if that is potentially triggering for you, then please take care of yourself and just don't watch it. Or I should say don't listen to it. But if that's not potentially triggering to you, I highly recommend it. It's such a good listen. It could also be the fact that I just really like that interviewer, because I know him. If you guys ever watched Bunked growing up, or if you ever saw that movie, it's called A Week Away. I don't know what else he's been into. I know he's obviously been in other things, but my brain is not letting me think of what. Kevin Quinn is, in this podcast, because he's, like, one of the hosts, and he's the one that interviews Drake in the first episode. And it was just, like, because he was really kind, and I just think that was exactly what Drake Bell, like, needed, I guess, was, like, I don't know. Like, I just really liked the way that he handled the situation. Like, he handled it with majesty, and it was just really great. Like, you can still take a tough subject matter and still handle it with majesty and kindness, and that's exactly what Kevin Quinn did. And, I don't know, it just made the listening experience, like, a lot better. Nothing felt super forced, so that was just really nice. But like I just said, like, it is a really sad interview. Like, Drake Bell definitely does go into a lot of, not detail, but we do get a little bit further than what the doc talks about, especially regarding Who Shall Not Be Named, and some of the things that he started learning, like, about himself, like, and it's a good listen. Like, if you are not triggered or potentially triggered, it's a good listen. But if, you know, it's potentially triggering, I don't recommend watching it, because it can be, or I keep saying watching, listening to it, because it could potentially be triggering. It's a very dark podcast. But it's really good. And I think it's, like, dark in a way that's, like, you know, kind. And then they have a second one, which I actually have not finished watching, which is kind of bad, considering the fact it came out in, like, May. And it's October, and I haven't finished it. But it's like, because I had other ones to watch first, and I was like, oh, okay, I'll watch these ones first, and then I'll listen to this one. I should never do that again, because I'll just never finish it. But anyway, that one was really good. Both Kevin and Justin, because the other guy's name is Justin Crawford. I think I talked about him before when I was talking about the Man Enough podcast. They are both incredibly kind souls. They did a horrible job. They did a wonderful job. Oh my god, not horrible. They did wonderful. Okay, we're trying the Rare Beauty bronzer stick for the first time today. And I'm getting makeup all over it already. So, what was I saying? So yeah, they just went and handled it with, like, such a majesty that, like, I don't even really know how to describe. Oh, that is really light on me. Okay. It's okay. We'll make it work. I didn't realize that was gonna be that light. It's okay. I'll make it work. So, yeah. So they did it with just such a majesty that, like, I don't even really know how to describe. It was just, like, really nice and really refreshing to see. If you were, like, seeing all the podcasts that were just not very good, the Luminosity one was really good. And you do learn a lot of information. So, yeah. Do with that what you will. You do learn a lot of information about, some more of, like, I don't know, it was just a really good podcast. It was, see, one of the reasons I think I really liked the podcast too was because there was a lot of moments that Drake just needed, like, a minute to kind of collect his thoughts and stuff. And they gave him that. Like, well, not they. There was more than one. There was only Kevin. Kevin really gave him that space. Instead of trying to, like, take over the moment, he gave him that space to just be like, what do you need? Like, he gave him that space to kind of try and, like, wrap his head around his thoughts, rather than, like, just being, like, because a lot of the times, like, interviewers take pauses like that to jump in and be like, change the subject or interject or whatever, and that's a lot of what, like, the people from the We Are Man Enough podcast did, and that's just, like, people need time to wrap their head around what they're trying to say. It's not fair to them to interrupt in that moment. Maybe that's just me, honestly, but I just don't think it's very fair. And Kevin and Justin do not do that, and I think that that's a very kind gesture. Like, there's even one moment in the We Are Man Enough in the Luminosity podcast, which is the one with Kevin and Justin. There's one moment where he's, like, he takes, like, I think it's, like, a 15-second long pause, which, you know, if that was any other interviewer, they'd probably take that 15 seconds to butt in and, like, not give him the space he needed to, like, work through what he was working through. But, you know, obviously, but Kevin gives him that space, and it's really refreshing, honestly. So, that podcast I highly recommend. But again, like I'm saying, if it's potentially triggering, don't do that to yourself. Don't listen to it. But if like, it won't be, and you know for a fact that it won't be, go ahead and watch it. Like, it's so good. But, another one that I didn't really care for, there was a lot more that I didn't care for than ones that I did, which, I don't know, makes me sound really picky, but it's just, there's little things, okay? It's the little things that irk me, and it's irked other people too, and I don't really know. Again, a lot of it is, like, are these, like, people that are, like, only like this because of the subject matter and because of the guest star you have on there, or are you always like this, is my question. Also, like, unrelated, I really like the way that the Rare Beauty bronzer stick, like, blends out. I know it's kind of hard to tell because of my lighting right now. I just look really shiny and it looks like you can't see anything. But it actually blended out really nicely. So, it looked like it was going to be too light, but it's really not. I think it's, like, actually my perfect shade. I think maybe the bronzer I had before might have been a little bit too dark for me. Which is odd, because I'm pretty sure I'm darker now than I was, like, when I got that bronzer. But I don't know. So there's another podcast, the one that I don't like. And again, it makes me wonder, it's like, are you like this all the time? Or you only like this because of, like, the person you have on your podcast? And it's what is it called? It's I forgot what the podcast is actually called, but it's, like, the one with Sarah Fraser. Like, Sarah isn't the worst interviewer, but she's not the best. She's just a lot, okay? That's the way that I'm gonna describe her today. She's a lot. And I know you're probably like, Zoe, what on earth are you talking about? But if you watch it, like, you will see she has this, like, over-the-top energy that is not necessary for the, like, subject matter in which you are discussing, and it's actually a little bit inappropriate. It's just like, oh, the one that gets me too, the one from Not Skinny But Not Fat, she got a little brash a little bit, like, and I was like, oh, okay, same kind of, like, our energy is, like, up here, like, we're up at a 10 and we need to be at, like, a 5, because, like, the thing is, like, I think both the Not Skinny and Not Fat and then Sarah Fraser, well, all of the podcasts pretty much were done at a time where I think he was more in, like, a, you know, in the thick of it, kind of, like, more, I don't want to say vulnerable, like, but more, you know, reserved kind of state. So having, like, someone be super high energy and your interviewee be very low energy, someone's got to match the energy, and I'm pretty sure Drake was not going to match hers. So, like, this was, like, I think all the Drake Bell podcasts that were done, like, right after Quiet on Set, like, really right after. And so, yeah. And this is another podcast that I'm going to ask if anyone has seen the, like, Sarah Fraser show outside of the Drake Bell episode. Let me know, because again, I really want to know. I don't know why that sounds so quiet. Okay, sorry guys. I don't know why my music sounds so quiet right now. But, whatever. So, if anyone has seen the Sarah Fraser show, I think that's what it was called. I think it was called the Sarah Fraser show. Sorry, I'm, like, literally louder than my music, and I don't really like that, but it's okay. If anyone has seen the Sarah Fraser show outside of the Drake Bell episode, let me know, because, I want to know if, like, Sarah's like that all the time, or that was just the energy she had because, like, Drake Bell was her guest or whatever. Like, I don't really know, but she was a lot. Like, that's the only way I can describe her, and I'm not trying to be mean. I'm, like, literally trying to describe the podcast. And I haven't even seen the full thing either. I saw, like, a good amount of it, but I was like, I needed to take a break, because she, again, was a lot. She has this, like, I don't want to say over enthusiastic, but she was maybe overly expressive. And it's like, the thing is, like, we got two ends of the spectrum. We got someone who looked like they have no expression at all, with Amanda from, Not Skinny But Not Fat. But then we had, like, too much expression with Sarah from the Sarah Fraser podcast. So, I don't know. Like, I don't know what I would rather prefer. I mean, I would prefer having more energy than what was needed, because at least you'll look like you're interested in the topic. if you're giving 0 energy, like, or if you're giving, you're gonna look like you're disinterested. And if you're disinterested, if you look like you're disinterested about the kind of topics that they were talking about in Quiet on Set, you kind of don't really look like a good person. I actually think I know why the music is so quiet, and I can't fix it right now. So, I'm sorry, guys. It's just gonna be really quiet music and a lot of me, I guess. But, so, basically, if you look like you don't care about, like, the things that they're talking about in Quiet on Set, you kind of don't really look like a good person. So, there's that. So I don't know. If anyone else has seen those podcasts, let me know. I'm gonna actually finish both of them, like, watching it all the way through, because I've watched, like, chunks. So I'll watch the whole thing all the way through, and then I'll probably give it my opinion again. But, I was going somewhere with this. But yeah, if anyone's seen them, let me know. But I highly recommend the Luminosity one. That one's so good. Okay, setting spray time. Okay, second setting spray. Okay, y'all know the drill. Lashes, and then I'll be back. Okay, and this is the final product. I will see you guys in the next video. I hope you guys have a great day. Have a blessed day. Jesus loves you. I love you. And I will see you all in the next one. Bye, guys.